So, that was it, huh? Halfway through this boring ass show and it genuinely thinks it deserves a cliffhanger? I'm sorry, Acolyte, but after another 30-minute episode of absolutely nothing going on, you don't get to just cut away the instant something even remotely interesting happens. With that being said, I'm Zach from the Five Nights Tavern, and today, I suppose we should take a closer look at this meandering midpoint of a pointless show. Let's get started. Spoilers ahead for episode 4 of The Acolyte, so please stop here if you haven't seen the episode yet. I don't want to ruin anything for you. As always, let's talk about the non-story stuff first. I've said before that this show looks extremely cheap to me, but this episode takes it to the next level. It's set mostly on the jungle world of Not Kashyyyk, but they are clearly on some plastic soundstage with this giant CG screen taking up the majority of every shot. None of the foliage looks believable, and it perplexes me as to why they didn't try to shoot on-site, like in Return of the Jedi, or at least strive to match the CG quality of Revenge of the Sith from fucking 2005. And remember, this show supposedly had a $180 million budget. Seriously, where did all that money go? Did they lie about the budget? Did someone steal it? Who knows, but it just didn't go into this. I don't see it anywhere. The costumes continue to be hit or miss for me, but I did notice a funny continuity error here with Soul's costume that I wanted to point out, as his robe seems to be able to teleport up and down between cuts. Nitpicking, I know, but my friends and I caught it while watching it last night, and we thought it was funny that none of the editors did. Moving on to the actual story of the episode, we find ourselves back on Coruscant with all the Jedi discussing Murderer May and her latest target, Jedi Master Wookiee, who is on planet Not Kashyyyk, and what to do about her. Master Green Girl and Master Soul get into an argument about how he should go after her, while Master Ki-Adi-Mundi suggests informing Yoda and the High Council. Oh yeah, Mundi is somehow here in this show. He's not important, at all. But I thought this was supposed to be over 100 years before the prequels, and he was only 75 when he died in Revenge of the Sith. By that logic, this show is only a few decades before the Phantom Menace, and Dooku should already be a master as well. Hell, there's a non-zero chance that Qui-Gon is already a Jedi now that I think about it, and I'm sure this is just more of that canon versus legends nonsense with the dates, but I really don't understand why Mundi was even here to cause this in the first place, because he's not important. It's weird, man. Anyway, Master Green Girl decides the best course of action is to go behind the Council's back for some reason, probably just for the writers to avoid using Yoda in this show, and instead sends Sol, Osha, Yord, Jeki, and a few obviously expendable Jedi to Not Kashyyyk to track down Master Wookiee, who is supposedly in grave danger from Murderer May. And speaking of Murderer May, she and her friend, obviously the Sith, arrive on Not Kashyyyk to begin their hunt. But May isn't acting like her normal, boring, stick-in-the-mud self. She seems to be doubting the mission, and her entire behavior has changed. She's supposed to be a bad guy, right? This entire show is about her getting revenge, right? Right? Meanwhile, Strike Team Soul arrives to rescue Master Wookiee and begins their grand adventure into the forest. And by grand adventure, I really mean a slow meander from cheap set to cheap set, with one of the other characters pausing every cut to tell Osha that it's going to be okay. We have 8 Jedi here, and all they ever do is walk around looking confused and or bored the entire time. No, wait. Soul killed a bug that one time. That was exciting. Yeah, Star Wars! With that excitement out of the way, let's go back to Murderer May and obviously the Sith as they start to close in on their target. May suddenly decides that she's a good guy now and captures her friend so that she can turn herself into the Jedi. No, you heard that right. This character, this pathetic excuse for a character, suddenly decides to abandon her entire revenge plot, the catalyst for this entire damn show, because she learned that her sister is alive and that she no longer has to seek revenge. The same sister that she tried to murder herself. Yeah, what a compelling character we have here. Now, I think it's time I explain myself a little bit. I've been calling this dude obviously the Sith this entire video. Partly because I don't remember his name, nor do I care to look it up. But also because this dude just straight up gives away that he's the Sith here in this scene. May captures him so that she can run to the Jedi, and of course he warns her that the Master won't be happy. May brushes it off because how can the Master possibly know where she is? Obvious foreshadowing is obvious. He also just so happens to know everything the Master wants, and not so subtly tells May all about it throughout the episode. So yeah, here's your Sith Lord, ladies and gentlemen. May has now run off on her own and stumbles onto Master Wookie's house by sheer chance. But as soon as she enters, surprise, surprise, he's already dead. So yeah, that's yet another Jedi that died without a fight in a show about the supposed height of the Jedi Order. $180 million, and we can't have any lightsaber fights in this show, I guess. Great. Fun. But of course, since the writers have magically decided to make May a good guy now, the show attempts to frame May as the killer as Strike Team Soul arrives outside the house. Now look, Soul, I know what this looks like, but May's a good guy now. Don't worry about those other dead Jedi. She's over that. It was just a phase, man. Trust me, we're cool. But before anything can come of that, Darth Teeth decides to make himself known in classic over-the-top fashion by floating down behind the Jedi and scaring the hell out of Osha. Now, I have to give credit to Darth Teeth here. His design is quite good, and his presence is definitely felt. He oozes that classic Sith fear, and I genuinely enjoyed the few seconds that he was in this episode. But that's the problem. It was only a few seconds. After rocking up and stealing the show, all he does is push all of the Jedi away, and the episode just ends. This stupid series is halfway over, and nothing interesting has happened at all. Meandering characters, laughably bad plots and motivations, cheap sets, wooden dialogue, and now the show has the balls to drop a cliffhanger the instant that anything remotely cool happens. This Sith is supposed to be the actual villain of the show, right? So why in the world has he only had maybe 45 seconds of screen time by the halfway point? I'm not counting his time as, obviously, the Sith guy, because the dude isn't interesting during that time. It's just him being as subtle as an atomic bomb. What little plot there was seems to have been completely lost, as May makes less and less sense than ever. Osha has not advanced as a character, and neither has any of the other Jedi for that matter. Another Jedi Master I don't care about is dead without a fight, and Darth Teeth has arrived to maybe salvage this train wreck of a show. Maybe. Who am I kidding? He'll probably die in some stupid way next week after killing all those disposable Jedi. I don't get it. I really don't. Why does this show exist? What is it trying to say? It's halfway over and still nothing makes much sense to me. Was the pacing wrecked by Disney's nonsensical dedication to an 8-episode format, even when there clearly isn't enough content to justify it? Is this another Obi-Wan situation we're dealing with? I don't know, but the Acolyte has yet to justify its existence to me in any capacity. But what do you guys think? Did you enjoy the episode? Are you excited about Darth Teeth? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated, as it helps grow our little channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and as always, cheers.